You ain't got to wait till May 28th to get your Heal the Hood t-shirt.
It's finna go down. It's finna go down, clown.
All right. Bet. Check 1, 2, 3. Here we go, y'all. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Entrepreneur for Life podcast. I'm your host, Gideon Webb. The Entrepreneur for Life podcast, the place where you can get all the tips and tricks from entrepreneurs on how you can be a more successful entrepreneur, how you can be more prosperous, maybe cut a few corners, but also just get some advice on your journey. Today, I got a special guest, a good brother of mine. We've been friends for a long time. Our family's friends. We kind of came up in the same city together under like minds. My brother Ajamou.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Black man.
Founder of Heal the Hood.
Yeah.
As well as many other things.
Yeah.
Author, poet. And Jamila.
Yes.
Yes. Jamila is...
Amazing. Jamila is multi-talented. She is the brainchild behind Agape Yoga.
Okay.
She is longtime Heal the Hood supporter, but now she's in a more official role as a co-planner. I don't know. We got to get you a fancy title or something like that. But you know, she gonna get some time to really introduce herself and go into her work.
Sweet.
She's a mentor, a mother, a wife, a friend to the end. For real.
Well, I've seen her very active out here. So, you know, she ain't a new face.
Not at all. Not at all.
So yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yes.
The reason I wanted to get you on the podcast because you're a man of many hats. You got a lot of talents, and you've also kind of bridged this place between entrepreneurship and community activism that I think is interesting. Because a lot of people kind of put you in a box and say you can only do one, you know, and you know me well. I like to do a lot of things. So whenever I see an entrepreneur kind of challenging the status quo, pushing the limit, trying different things, exploring outside of what everybody think they should be doing, you know, that's interesting to me. And I want to talk to you about that journey.
Yeah.
My first question for you is, when did you first decide to start pursuing the entrepreneur side of things?
Man, that's a beautiful question. Before I even dive into that, like, it's amazing to share the platforms that we share because, like you said, long before me and you was in the game, our pops and them was in the game, knee deep in it too. Like, not no sideline soldiers. They was really on the front line. So,
definitely.
You know, the fact that we here grooming our kids, how we doing, like you said, your son upstairs, sis, young warriors is upstairs. I got mine grooming them into life. This is, you know, what we supposed to be doing. So it's a pleasure to be here. But my pops, man, he opened up Personality back in 1996. I was like 5 years old then. And if anybody knows anything about Personality in Titonia over in the Silver Mill, you know, Plaza, it's a very small spot, but a very mighty spot. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't take much but a slingshot and a rock to kill Goliath. And that's what the old man is doing over there. But since then, I can remember it just being a shell. We didn't have no carpet in there, no shelving, no cases, no jewelry, no incense, no nothing. And we prayed and we did libation. We prayed for longevity, prosperity, peace. That store has never been broken into. The store has surpassed years. In a pandemic, he ate. You know what I'm saying? Through droughts and inflations and all of this and the third, he has always been there. So I take it from my father. And he never gave us money. We used to have to get a thing of incense, bag them incense up 10 for $1, and we would just work the strip mall and sell incense and sell sometimes oils and whatnot. And so that was my first taste into, I give you product, you give me money.
Nice.
You know, but even then it was still a hustle, if you will. I think now at 30 years old, I'm really understanding that I want to now no longer be a hustler. I want to be a businessman. And so, you know, again, man, my first experience was back then with Pops, man, bagging up. And he ain't give us no money. He never, and we still had to pay for the incense on the back end.
Oh, see,
so once we made our $5, we had to pay for the pack. You know, it's just like in the streets. If you get fronted that work, you got to bring me mine back. You know, when it's payday. And that's how he groomed.
No, that's what's up. I kind of got a similar story. My first actual hustle was a lemonade stand. You know what I'm saying? And literally, like, had to buy the supplies, get to realize that you could provide a product for service, and then, you know, here I am today. But no, that's interesting. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your pops because he's kind of been an inspiration for a lot of us. His longevity, his consistency, his morals, his presence. And you can feel that energy when you come into Personalities. And that's why Personalities is still there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's been supported by so many people in the community who I think honor your father, you know what I mean, as a man of honor and integrity. And I think that's helped his business as well because, you know, you want to spend money with good people. Not only has he been solely responsible for delivering African culture to the people in Milwaukee.
Correct.
You know what I mean? In a place
Correct.
where we can go and we can buy our products that's good for our skin. We
Yeah.
can buy books that's, from our people. And there's not a lot of places like that. You know what I mean? To say that it's a jewel or a diamond in the rough is an understatement, because
Yes, sir.
there ain't too many places in Milwaukee where you can do that. So he definitely found his niche and has inspired us all. And then the activism. Talk to me about that. And when you decided, I know you grew up in it and you grew up under leaders and influential people, but when did you decide that you were going to kind of take something you were passionate about into your own hands?
Church. Hey, you know what? It's funny because I can remember, man, like my pops, he used to sit us down and make us watch like lectures and documentaries and shit, and he would test us afterwards. He would have like 10 questions and he would pay us per question that we got right.
Oh, man.
And when I say, like, I used to be so in awe at Farrakhan and Khalid Muhammad, I'm like, damn, dude, these dudes speaking for 2-3 hours. They got the whole crowd engaged. There was a certain thing of power that came with that, and I was just enthralled by it. Like the usage of words just was blowing my mind. So there was always that element, but again, I'm gonna have to take it from my OG and my mom. My mom is a nurturing revolutionary woman. She ain't no rah woman. You know, she's the one who gonna feed the bellies and pray over the sleeping soldiers. You know, and that sometimes is the most important part on the battlefield. And that's her role, and she does it so beautifully as a woman of the village. And so I get community and love from her, and my daddy, I get that service from him, because I'm telling you, since '96, he never folded. He never, you never gonna go in personality and see the latest Lil so-and-so hip hop CD and all of the latest trends and shit. Like, through rain, sleet, snow, stormy weather, man, that man has always held true to pushing the culture. So I always knew that I could make money and still push culture. We don't have to be poor, righteous teachers.
Right.
Let me say it again. We don't have to be poor, righteous teachers. Not in
Preach.
2022.
Preach.
I refuse it. You understand? So the activism piece always been in me. And when I started Heal the Hood back in 2012, man, that's some mustard seed shit. Because I wasn't thinking 10 years down the line. Like, I wasn't thinking no 10 years. I didn't have a car at the time. I was broke, busted, and disgusted on the bus going to speaking engagements and interview, holes in my shoes. I had a little briefcase, sis, that I got from Goodwill. Didn't have nothing in the briefcase, but it was clean, though. I had a notebook, okay, and a couple of pens and papers. But I said, this is going to add to my image as a public speaker. And so I'm just going to get my little $5 briefcase and get out here and say, hey, I got this thing called Heal the Hood. Y'all want to hear about it? And it
propelled you. They talk about the power of being broke,
man,
and how being broke can actually help you bring out some of your best ideas, can help you be more resourceful than you ever thought you could be, help you pull things out of yourself that you never thought you had. And like you said, you didn't have no money, you didn't have no car, but you had this vision. For the listeners that don't know what Heal the Hood is, can you explain it to us?
Absolutely. And then I'm gonna throw that question to Sis, because she got a different perspective on what Heal the Hood from the outside looking in and from the inside looking in. But Heal the Hood is our organization that we started back in 2012, May 26, 2012 to be exact. And again, right on the corner of First and Wright, man, it was a very humble gathering. I was looking at some pictures from Heal the Hood the other day. You know what I'm saying? And we might have had like 50 people there, maybe 40 to 50 people there. We gave out like free food for the food. Gat Turner spoke. Blue did some poetry, and that was like the gist of our event. But it's grown and transformed so much since then. It was a divine assignment. I didn't understand the assignment then. I understand the assignment now. You understand? But to make a long story short, at present, Heal the Hood is two major arms. We have our annual block party and resource fair. That's what we're talking about today, the 10th annual Heal the Hood coming up, which is May 28th, and it's going to be back in your hood, right from First and Right to Third and Right.
My daughter's birthday.
You understand?
Awesome.
Oh, man, we're going to tee
She's
up.
She's going to have the biggest birthday party ever.
She lives right there, so she lives on Palmer and Money.
We going to tee up for it then. We're going to put something together for little sis. So we got our block party arms. The last one we did in July had like 1,100 people, man. We had about 40-some vendors. It's always free food. We feed about 700-800 people, and that's one of them things where Jesus fed the masses with a little bit of bread, a little bit of fish. We able to do that same thing, because we still ain't got it all, but we bring it together in community and village, and we take care of the hood. It's always entertainment. Homer Blow is always the DJ for us. We switching it up this year, but he always got his energy on it. So that's one level of Heal the Hood, our big old block parties. But what makes that so successful is the culmination of everything we do throughout the year in the school systems, the different partnerships with the churches, the mosques, the after school school programs, and we push this message of positivity, healing. I first started teaching my curriculum. It's called We Are Not Poets, We Are Messengers. And it's a very heavy social emotional based writing curriculum. And so when I go into the different environments and I save souls, if you will, with the power of word, and using your story. And so when we say to them, hey, y'all, Heal the Hood coming up, can y'all bring the students down? They gonna bring a busload of kids. They gonna make sure that they bring their cousin and them. We got people like Jamila who gonna make sure her whole tribe there. She makes sure her cousins and them is there. I promise to God, every year she pulling up with 6-7 people, if you will.
So talk to me about how y'all met.
So it's interesting. I know how we met.
Talk
so I did not meet Ajamou Butler. Who I met was Brother Heal the Hood at an alternative event over on Holly Road.
Shout out to Marquesa, man.
Shout out to Marquesa.
Definitely shout out to Marquesa. I love her.
Tucker
She's
Harris
awesome.
with the alternative and the African American round table. We met there. And so the alternative, which was an interesting space where Christian artists who fell out of love with the church would converge to just honor God through the gifts that God had given us. And so Marquez had asked me to host the event. So I came in all of my hostess with the mostest stuff. And so I'm looking at this list because it was almost like open mic.
Correct.
So you would sign your name. I didn't know much about Brother Heal the Hood, but I remember God saying to me, the passage of scripture talking about if my people would pray and humble themselves. And I remember I introduced Brother Heal the Hood like I had knew him forever. And so Brother Heal the Hood, I introduced him. Brother Heal the Hood got up and preached on that Saturday night.
Hey, did I have that poster board with me?
You had you had the poster board.
Yeah, I cut up.
Of course you had the poster board.
Yes, God.
And that was our first
How many
meeting.
years ago was that?
That had to be 2015
on,
or
God.
16.
Come on.
Wow.
And so when I learned about Heal the Hood, I became a brand ambassador. You remember when I would just pull up and come get the flyers? I would pull up and come get the flyers for the Heal the Hood. Ajamou, give me 300 flyers. We out here in these streets. I'm out here passing out flyers. I had the kids. My kids is upstairs that's 9 and 10. Now we're like 2 and 3.
Oh, my life.
We out everywhere we was at. Like we would... Ajamou and I would pull up to events and not know what we be at events together, and I'd be like, "Hey, fam, I got this. Everybody already got a flyer here." And so that's kind of how we met. Then, we did a martial arts demonstration
at Heal the Hood.
At Heal the Hood. So my family and I are not only prayer warriors. We don't only lay hands. We also know how to throw those hands. We are certified in the Taekwondo Hall of Fame for our martial artistry. And so Mia and my 4 sons compete in Taekwondo tournaments. I got a trophy that's 5'2", is actually taller than me. And so Ajamou was like, a family that prays together stays together, but a family that fights together,
that's something different right there.
That's something different. And so we would converge on the Heal the Hoods, and I would lead my boys through a Taekwondo demonstration. And after I would lead my boys through the Taekwondo demonstration, I would show the women that you are strong and mighty by taking down my 200 some odd pound husband who played football on the collegiate level, Division I. And so that's kind of how it happened. And then, when you become covenant people, then people pull you into your life. And so Ajamou works for Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy, and I came in and did some healing work on that mat with his high school students. And we out here, I was just before the show, he and I were just laughing about 2 years ago. We actually performed at Dr. Arrington's installation service at Parkline Assembly of God. I got a phone call to do some dancing, and I needed a drummer, and my brother drummed. And so that's kind of, we've been moving and shaking, and I am so excited to be part of the Heal the Hood Nation in an official capacity. Ajamou, no, I don't need no titles because you know I'm about this work.
I understand.
So you've seen the vision early, like after your first time meeting him.
Listen, when it's not on you and when it's in you, like people gravitate to it, like the level of passion that comes to call. It's Heal the Hood all day, every day, 24/7, 365.
It's what we do.
Infused
What we
in
do.
all that he does. He lives Heal the Hearts, Heal the Homes, Heal the Hood. And his son and my son are the same age. So I seen him healing hearts. I see how he is with his son and with my sons. I've seen him heal homes. Like people think that Ajamou is just in the schools. Ajamou
we
pulls
be out
up.
here.
He pulls up in the homes, and that translates to the hood. And you know, I don't know if Ajamou gonna be okay with me sharing this story, but I'm gonna share it.
Take your time.
People know a few years ago, Ajamou's apartment caught fire, just completely incinerated, everything gone. Ajamou called me at a very low point. It was like, sis, I need you to pray. We prayed, and then we got up and we went to work. And I told Ajamou, there is a different way that you're going to be able to relate because you've had this experience. And so just trying to be a big sister, prayer warrior, fighter, advocate, brand advocate, daughter, friend, just all of that. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm just so excited to just be a part of the hood to help heal the hood.
Tell me some details about the next Heal the Hood block party. I've seen some of the promotion going on and people starting to talk about it. I know you said May 28th is the date. The location is
First and Right.
First and Right, where it started.
Back where it started on my mama. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Full circle.
What's your role this year? You want to tell them about what you got up your sleeve?
Let me tell you what I got up these sleeves. So Heal the Hood, like much of everything else, took a pause during the pandemic. And although we were limited in the work that we were able to do, we were still out here doing the work. And so we had planned this grandiose prayer walk to kind of bring Heal the Hood to its opening. And so we had galvanized leaders from all faith communities. I'm talking the Christian community. I'm talking the Muslim community. This year we're going to reach out to our Sikh brothers and sisters and our Jewish brothers and sisters, because in the year of our Lord 2022, everybody got to be calling so that the glory can come down. And so the prayer walk is just that. So imagine first and right to third and right. Imagine 12 faith entities coming from 12 directions into the center of where Heal the Hood. And as they are coming through these hoods, they're praying for the healing of the hearts, the homes, and the hood. And so we are going to do that. So that is going to pull in all of our believing brothers and sisters, and that's going to open it up. It's going to open up at 12 noon. Party going to get started. And we're doing an Infinity Healing Children's Corner.
That's good.
Did y'all hear that? Let me repeat that.
I don't think so.
The Infinity Healing Children's Corner.
I like that.
And the Infinity Healing Children's Corner will be that healing that continues. So building legacy in all of those things. So how do we heal? How you get children to heal? We're going to have some mindfulness and meditation. How do children in the hood heal? We're going to have a cans tournament. How do children in the hood heal? We're going to have some double dutching. We're going to have some tie-dyeing of some t-shirts. We're going to have some drill teaming. And because we understand that science, technology, energy, arts, and math is not being taught in the schools, we bringing it directly into the hood. I got a secret that I can't necessarily share, but we have an individual who's directly connected to the state with this STEM stuff, and that particular individual will be coming down to do some very age appropriate STEAM activities with the children that they'll be able to take home. And so those are the two things that I am currently overseeing with Heal the Hood. 10th annual Heal the Hood Community Block Party and Resource Fair, Saturday, May 28th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. First first and right to third and right.
And can I touch on just two things right quick? Both of those angles, the prayer walk, because I know this is an entrepreneur conversation, right?
Yes.
But God is in my business plan. I cannot speak for the next individual. Okay,
God is in my business plan
too. It's the writer
too.
of the thing. You know what I'm talking about? So I want to be clear, because you get people who say, "Well, prayer ain't this, and we need this." Man, listen, we don't go forward until we just bless the grounds right quick, and then we gonna run into battle. We understand that blood might be shed on that battle, but we still gonna say that prayer before we go in. We understand that victories will be won and losses will be suffered, but we still pray before we go into the battle. And with this being the 10-year anniversary, and again, talking about all of these faith-based initiatives and different organizations and entities coming together to pray before we move forward with the 10th year anniversary of Heal the Hood, that's powerful, and God will be present. No matter what you call God by, the universe, the trees and shit, Jesus, this, and the third, God will be in the building. And another part about that Children's Corner, I want to stress that when we do our Heal the Hoods, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there, then babies be so safe. Now, we had a couple kids, lose their parents. We don't say the parent lost the child lost their parent. And, we stopped everything. We bring that kid on stage. I think you might have helped us one year with that. I think maybe on Burleigh, if I'm correct. Kid couldn't find their mama, and we stopped the whole thing. Hey, where is so-and-so at? Everything good. Then we move forward. I'll say this and then pass the mic right back to you. We had some years ago on Burleigh, but a different year.
Go down on Burleigh.
On my mama, 2-4 in Burleigh. This little girl, it was two little girls. She might have been 7. The other one might have been like 8, maybe 9. And it was their grandmother. One of the little girls was disfigured in her face, right? Grams told me that the little girl had got shot on some straight bullet type shit, right? And she said since that incident, they have not brought her to no public spaces with that many people, especially not on 24th and Burleigh.
Right.
And she said, I want to just tell you, I am so appreciative of this event. She having fun. She had a face painting, free food, fun. I got a picture with the little, I will never, and I'm still friends with Grams on Facebook to this day. And I invited them out. I said, man, y'all make sure y'all come down and Heal the Hood this year. But that is what Heal the Hood is about to me. That spiritual factor, because we got to lead battle in a certain mannerism and making sure that them babies see productiveness amongst people of color.
That's kind of where I was going with my next question, which is like the end goal or the mission of Heal the Hood. Like, where would you like to see it next? What's after this 10 years? Where's Heal the Hood going after this 10-year anniversary?
I don't know, beloved. I'm going to be honest with you. My life is taking me in a different direction. And that's why you build team. Legacy ain't about... See, if a king builds something, he don't leave an heir to his throne. Once he dies, it dies. Heal the Hood will never die out because we got the young brothers we keep on deck, right? We keep our sons. Like she said, she got 4 sons. They taking over Heal the Hood. My son taking over Heal the Hood. So, we're going to do this 10 year. I'm going to help take it to maybe year 12 or so. But the team that we're building over the next couple of years is going to take it to the 50th year. As to where I may not have been able, I wasn't ready to do it this year. I had told the team, that's why I told sis, can we really bring you on? I called Rob and Jody, can we really bring you on? Because I ain't got it in me to do it. It take a lot to serve the community.
No doubt.
Sometimes we serve the community and the community spit back in our face. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes it's very hard to say we want to stop gun violence and then you see a black man kill a black man. My son is 10, a 10-year-old gets shot, this and the third. One of my students got to go to jail because he stole a Kia and this. And it's like, damn, why am I even doing this? So sometimes I don't see the end goal. But the thing about healing, because that's the mission, healing is, there's not an end date to that. Healing is something that's continuous. We've been in our condition for more than 400 years. It's going to take more than 10-year annual block parties and workshops with the kids to get us out of it. We just plant the seeds. The Father watered that thing and life let it grow.
Yeah. No, I agree. We used to do an event, Summer of Peace. We did that for about 10 years. And so I can 100%, I can 100% understand where you're coming from as far as, the community can kind of wear you out, that selfless work, and that you need to be able to spread it to other people. You need to be able to build bridges with other people and continue that legacy. And it's very important because I think a lot of activists get wrapped up in this me thing, and it's not about me. It's about the community. Back to the entrepreneurship stuff. I know I've seen you selling books, adult books and children's books, or just children's books. How'd you get into that?
So dig, and it's crazy. So I was doing a workshop on 24th and Burleigh at Damn To Your Way with the kids. Where I be on Burleigh for real. We be in the trenches, but
I love that Burleigh.
That's where the magic
years ago too on my life.
That's the Golden Center.
That's where the mud. That's
not the GOLDIN. That's the GOLDEN Center over there.
And this is some years back, and I'm doing workshops with the young brothers and sisters. From my curriculum I mentioned, and I noticed that some of them young brothers and sisters couldn't spell your average 5-6 letter word. I noticed that their cognitive ability ability to kind of put 1 + 1 and make it 2. It just was not there. So I said, damn, I think it was Marcus Garvey, maybe even Fred Douglass told us that it's better to build children than to rebuild grown men. You understand? So I said, man, okay, how can I help these babies build their literacy capacity before they get to the 6th, 7th, 8th grade? Boom, make some children's books and get them out here in these streets. So I wrote 2 children's books in the middle of the pandemic. My shit dropped in the middle of 2020.
It did.
And we got to dumping them books. And it was super successful. So I wrote 2 more. Now the first 2 children's books are based in spoken word and literacy. The other 2 books are workbooks to really build the cognitive and creative capacity. So we got a math workbook and an English workbook. And that takes me to places and stages that I never thought that I would go to. On an entrepreneurial tip, I made sure to put my son's face on the cover of that book. You know what I'm saying? So that he knows that his face is bigger than a t-shirt, it's bigger than an obituary, it's bigger than a 6 o'clock news and shit like that. His face is meant to be a worldwide global image because he is that powerful as a young black boy. So again, everything I do with the entrepreneurship game, it involves legacy building. I'm getting deeper into my money game. I'm finna take off with this money game. And again, it's just about understanding generational wealth and how do I take nothing and turn it totally into something, because most of us, that's where we come from. We ain't got nothing, but we got that vision like I talked about. So if I really sat here and talked about the journey to build Heal the Hood up to 10 years, like I said, I have no idea where it'll go next, because I ain't think I was finna make it. I thought I was gonna be dead at 20 or some shit when I was out here bad. You hear me? Bad, for real.
Yeah. And then so that journey as an author, tell our listeners a little bit about that. Some of the challenges you faced. I think a lot of our listeners are interested in writing books, becoming authors. Any challenges that kind of stick out for you? And, you know, sometimes it's just the fact of like sitting down and doing it. That first step, feeling like, you know, everybody want to write a book.
It's
how many people going to sit down and do it?
And actually do it.
So what were your challenges?
For one, I understand residual income. The grind that I'm on is a very hardcore grind. It requires my time, my energy, and my physical presence. Books, I can sell them in my sleep. I can twerk the website in my sleep. I wake up to PayPal hits, and I keep it moving, right? So that's one thing. But it's a mind frame thing. Either you're going to do it or you're not. In the Lord of our Savior 2022, you got to have you got to get rid of that doubt shit on my life. Either you're going to stay broke. I was talking to somebody about investing today. I'm like, either you're going to stay broke or you're going to take that risk. I was like, you got two options as you take your risk. Either you're going to end up still broke because you're going to lose out on it, or you're going to bubble on my life. I said, but I'm going to focus on that bubble and what I can do to shift all options to go towards that bubble and that blow up. But nonetheless, it was an easy process for me. I ain't gonna lie, because I am a poet, I am a writer, so that piece of it came easy. What I will say, my challenge was financing it and stop penny pinching, right? Stop penny pinching. And when you in the streets, you got to stop selling nickels and dimes and shit like that. You got to move up to zips and, you know, so on. I ain't trying to talk that talk on the podcast.
Don't talk that talk on the podcast. We're talking relationality.
But I'm talking about, it's the difference between being able to place an order for 50 books and 250 books or 500 books. It's a difference between my wholesale order saying somebody at my table, they want to get 3 or 4 books, saying how can I network this with Next Door Foundation who just bought 150 books. You know what I'm saying? So that was my biggest challenge, understanding that you got to have that capital. I don't care what your investment is. And Jam, I want you to answer that question too about that challenges of entrepreneurship. But for me, it was having startup capital to really invest so that I'm not penny pinching. I don't want to penny pinch and be a hustler no more. I want to be a businessman. Jan, what you think?
That's it right there. It is definitely the startup capital. Is definitely doing something that you would do and not be paid for. Because there's going to be a time where you ain't gonna get paid. There were times where we didn't know where money from Heal the Hood was gonna come from, and then there was time where we had so much money that we didn't know what to do with it. Like, so you have to be invested in the vision. You have to be able to trust the process. You have to be linked and connected with individuals. So it's not about I'm gonna get mine, you get yours. So with Agape Yoga Street, which is a very I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's an acquired type of yoga. Is really it's so it's not a mainstream yoga. You got to know your audience. You got to know who your target audience is, and you got to stay integral to that. So like we talk about Brother Earl, who's been at Personality since 1996. He knows his audience. His son said, you ain't gonna catch Lil Wayne CD in there because he knows his audience. And although Lil Wayne CD might sell 50, 60 million, he understands the assignment. You have to understand the assignment. You have to understand the gift that you have. You have to understand that your gift is specialized and designed for a specific group of people. And then you go and chase those people. And then as you chase those people, they'll go chase other people for you. And so if you stay integral to who your client base is, if you stay integral to your mission and vision. You got to have a mission statement and a vision statement. You got to have some values and some objectives. I know a lot of times you can see the bag and it can look good.
Yes, it does.
But if it compromises the integrity of what you stand for, then that compromise and tarnishes your image, and it will do you more damn than it will good. So when they say all money ain't good money, they talking the truth. And you have to know what your good money is, because good money is going to be good for different people. And so I think and I'm a baby in this entrepreneur game. Like when you talk about what pushed you and being poor, me getting fired from my job.
I remember that.
I was a high level executive for the state, like 4 degrees away from the governor, making good money. I thought it was my dream job. Everything that I went to school with, this job was wrapped up and packaged for me. And so worked that job for about 20 months. Governor Scott Walker did not win the election. And because the middle level of government was still Republican run, they got rid of who they could. And I was one of those people that was on the chopping block. I remember shout out to Joanna Brooks, owner and operator of Embody Yoga MKE, who brought me into the yoga game. It was her who had been sowing seeds into me. I was her student, paying to go to her classes, and she was like, Jam, you need to become a yoga teacher. It's a lot of money out here. I trust you with my baby. You should do this. And I was like, girl, I got 4 kids and a husband and a mortgage and a car note, and I need car insurance and health insurance. I ain't got time. And so she made a connection with me to a yoga school. They offered me a scholarship. I couldn't turn it down. It was free money. Took the scholarship, started working for her on Saturdays and Wednesday nights, got fired from my job. I called Joanna before I called my husband and said, I got fired. I need work. And on that day, Agape Yoga Street was born. And so I started working for her. And then in the pandemic, I started to build my business. Like Agape Yoga Street kind of premiered and debuted to the world on February 28th of 2020. And then world stop, as Beyonce said, on March 14th. But because I stayed integral to who I was, the people came to me like, fam, we need it.
Flocking.
And so Agape Yoga Street grew on Facebook Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays.
And you know what? I used to tune into them classes. I was living with my mama during the middle of the drought during the pandemic. And I'll just be in the hallway with my laptop set up there. We go through our intentions in the yoga. I'm always trying to stretch out in the hallway. I'm like, I got to get it in. I got to get it in.
And so as I'm starting to build my business, I understand that there are some things that I want and some things that I don't want. I understand capital. I understand overhead. And I understand that I don't run a business. Neither does Ajamou. He don't know that. He runs a businessry. It's business and it's ministry. And that's how you can combine entrepreneurship and activism, or entrepreneurship and ministry or community or all of those things, or social awareness or all of that, because it becomes a business street. And so when you run your business, first submitting it to the one who gave you the vision in the first place, once you give that back and trust the process, listen, you're going to blow up. And when you understand that you for everybody and ain't for everybody, you might be an open book, but everybody don't deserve a copy. Like I said, I'm really about, because everybody's selling everything. Everybody teaching yoga out here. Everybody doing poetry and community work. Everybody got curriculums that they offer into the school systems to fill in the gaps. But when you find your gift and you stay integral and to that, then you can be successful.
That's anointing.
That's anointing.
It's beautiful. I love it. Business street.
I'm gonna copyright that word because I done said it a couple times. I'm gonna put that on the shirt.
You might as well. This is my first time hearing it. You mentioned you're doing some investing.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about that? What you investing in?
He got that Bitcoin.
You know what? I ain't even playing with the bit. I lost some money in the Bitcoin.
He got that Bitcoin.
I tried to throw a couple dollars in the crypto game, and I also think even when I did that, it still wasn't enough money. I was still penny pinching.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was still penny pinching. So right now, I'm building my credit up. Right.
Okay.
I'm 2 steps, maybe even 3 to 4 steps away from where I need to be to start playing in the real estate game. I'm a rookie at this. I ain't gonna lie to you. I come from selling weed. I come from selling incense, as I said. Then it transformed to weed. Then there was this thing called Heal the Hood, and I started selling poetry and books. So my mentality on investment and money is just now starting to mature. I ain't gonna sit up and lie to you. So my next step is about to be playing with that real estate game. My goal in the next 2 to 3 years is to move overseas and live abroad. And so I got a bunch of series of smaller steps to be made to make that thing officially, and that real estate thing will be the first step within the next maybe like 4 months, maybe about 4 months.
So real estate, straight into real estate.
Straight ahead.
You do any like stock investing or?
That's gonna be a step too. That's gonna be my son's mother. Her husband is heavy into the stocks game. For one of his birthdays, we got him $500 worth of stocks, and had the stock book to let him pick which ones.
How old is he?
He 10 now, so this was probably like he might have been 8.
The piece of paper. You
understand what I'm saying? He like, I want to invest in Disney, and you know what I'm saying? Still good stuff, though. Still good stuff.
Right.
We still taught to invest into what you're interested in, right?
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I'm not interested into sports, I'm not going to invest into Nike or Adidas or whatever the case. I'm into gardening and shit like that. So when I do get into the stocks, and it's crazy you brought that up, I've been looking up different agricultural investments.
It's a lot of agricultural investments.
I want to get into agriculture. Like, I'm big on gardening in your backyard. I got a ass load of house plants, and I know that if I want to throw my money out there and make a return, I should do it in something that I have, industry knowledge in.
The one of the biggest markets right now for the future is clean water, clean air, wind power, automated intelligence, stuff like that. I do a lot of investing, a lot of stocks, a lot of crypto. So when you're ready,
come holler at you.
Yeah,
you ain't got to tell me twice.
We definitely got to chat. 'Cause I've been investing since about 2015, and so I'm in there. And I've done a few courses teaching young people and things like that, but I'm always down to spread the knowledge.
Say, what's one of your biggest challenges in your lanes of investment that you see?
Biggest challenges.
Flipped it on him. He wasn't ready for that.
I'm going to give you the right answer. For me, it was easy because I took a risk. I said, you know what? Everybody else making money. Why not? And then most people tell you to do the research and then invest. I did the opposite. I invested and then did the research. And, I was always smart about it. I never invested more than I could stand to lose. But that risk of just jumping off the cliff and saying, hey, I'm going to put this money here because this is what I believe in. I want to learn more about it. And then it inspired me to learn more and learn, what a stock is, what an ETF is, what a crypto is, and the different cryptos and whatnot. And I'm a gambler too. I'm not a big gambler, but, I like to play with money.
Hey, that's it.
The opportunity, possibility of possibly, coming up off a stock, I'm in it. And then when you see the returns are way higher than if you keep the money in your savings account.
Yes,
what I mean? The percentages you get back, it's just like a no-brainer. And plus, you watching other cultures been investing for years. And I feel like our parents probably would have invested too if they had the knowledge and access. And now we're blessed with those two things, which are super important, knowledge and access
that is good.
Through this.
That is good. Technology. Through your palm of your hand.
It.
Come on.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge and access allow you to change the whole generational trajectory of your family, actually bring in legacy wealth and that kind of thing. So one of my biggest challenges is getting the people around me to invest and take that step, because I hate being the only person around I'm investing in crypto, Disney, Nike, all these things, and I'm like, yo, I'm doing good, y'all might want to fuck with me, and they all right, you know what I'm saying? Send them the app and they never get to it.
But they on that sneaker app though, trying to catch them Jordan 12s.
On Facebook and spending all this money, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to get someone to invest $5 a month into themselves.
I believe
$5.
Yeah.
And that's literally where I started investing in stocks at $5 a month. So when people tell me they can't do it, I'm like, that's bullshit.
Why can't you?
You know what I'm saying? You spend, you know what I'm saying, that kind of money easy all the time. So you could show people the numbers, say, look, this is what I made since 2016. Doing $5 a month. They still will not change their habits. So you try to bring people in, but seeing people like, 10 years later, you're like, bruh, I told you. So that's the challenge. I want to see more of our people invest. I want to see more of our people expand their portfolios, dive into crypto, step into some of these industries that'll be around here for the next 10 years. That's right. The hemp industry. Yeah. I want us to not just go to jail over marijuana, but actually make some money from this new multi-billion-dollar industry that's coming, and it's all in its infancy. So, to say that you missed the boat also is a lie, because crypto is at its infancy. Pot stocks and weed is at its infancy. It hasn't even made it legal in America yet. Imagine when it does. These companies that are out there making this money, you invest now, where they'll be 10, 20 years. Amazon ain't going nowhere. Walmart ain't going nowhere. Amazon hasn't even scratched the surface of India and Africa. And they plan on building drones to do that. You know what I mean? So imagine our parents had the opportunity to get in on Walmart, Disney, Facebook. They probably would have, because it was cheap. But they didn't have the knowledge or access at the time. You know what I mean? And so now that we do, I almost feel like it's our responsibility to create that generational wealth for, our children.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's where I'm at with it.
I done took a lot of risks too. I done lost so much money in the game. I mean, you lose the money, but you gain so much experience. I was playing in the vending machine game. Boy, I was booming on my mama. I was booming, and I had just bought 3-quarter machines and another drink machine. Then the pandemic hit.
What'd you do with the machines?
I sold them.
You sold them?
I sold them.
That's interesting, because I saw a cousin of mine posted a bunch of vending machines she want to sell, and I'm like, side hustle, ching ching. I'm thinking in my head.
Before the pandemic, I had one vending machine and 1-quarter machine in the same place. It was at a youth center. And I had drinks in my vending machine, and it had a gym in there too. So I got the Powerades.
Knowing your market.
Location is everything.
You got to stay integral.
Man, listen, so when the pandemic hit and the kids stopped coming, man, my thing was collecting dust. So I went on ahead and got rid of it. But again, that's one industry I did invest some money, and I wish I would have did a little bit more research on it. But I for sure lost out on a couple of deals. But it was a beautiful experience. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, man. I think that passive income is helpful, and I always tell people, man, you're not going to get to where you want financially on a 9-to-5. You got to come up with a side hustle. You got to come up with something else that you're passionate or interested in that you can make some money in. The 9-to-5 can help you pay your bills, can help you live at a level where at least, hopefully, you have a comfortable life. But it's that side hustle that allow you to build that safety net, save up for your kids' college, put money towards vacations, invest, things like that. Another thing we always talk about on this podcast is how people always talk themselves out of things, something you want to do. And it's my theory that most people will give you 3 reasons why they can't do something before they tell you why they can. And so when you go in your life and you listen to people, think about that. And being a journalist, talking to people all the time and doing my business, I've found this to be true time and time again. You're an author. Man, I want to write a book. But I got to get a computer first, But I ain't come up with a title yet.
Correct.
I ain't found nowhere to publish it yet. Before they tell you one reason why they can.
Just start.
And so they have good goals, good aspirations, but it's like this thing that keeps telling them why they can't do it. And I'm sure maybe you've been faced with that too. How do you keep yourself inspired to reach your goals?
I ain't gonna lie. I think at this point in the game, I can't really look back. Once you know better, you do better. And this is a divine anointing, this thing over my life called healing or heal the hood or ministry, business street, whatever you want to call it. So there is no running from it, right? The more you run from it, you're going to run into it. The conditions around us, right? The environment of Milwaukee forces me to continue to do what I do because I can't do nothing, right? Now, at one point in time, I wanted to save the world. When I first started Heal the Hood, my mom finna be out here saving starving kids in Zimbabwe, ending the fur trade in China, stopping murder on Burleigh. And I said, okay, maybe that's a little lofty. Okay, so I said, I'm gonna save America then. Well, hell, I ain't got no money for no plane or train ticket, so I'm gonna focus on Milwaukee. And then I said, I can't even save the whole of Milwaukee, but what I can do is these little black boys and girls who in my classrooms, these little black boys, these staff developments. I love when I do staff developments because I talk to them so real, and that inspires me because I'm like, okay, I just gave them a seed. If I can't touch the kids that they gonna touch, what I just put in them gonna touch them kids, and that will keep me moving. And I got a son. Motherfucker ain't be doing no giving up when you got a son. I done scrubbed toilets. I done sold dope. I done preached and teached. You understand what I'm saying? I done sold books and incense, as I said before, and now I'm at a stage where it's like, okay, now it's time to take off. But my young boy who at home right now, I can't quit. I can't quit.
Ajamou, being humble right now
Oh,
too.
God.
He got a team that's around him. So,
That's
you know,
good.
like when
That's good.
so you know, like when Moses was too tired and they was in the battle, and every time his doggone hands went down, they was losing, and so there were two individuals that held him up. So Ajamou got people when he be like, man, I ain't doing this no more. They be like, the hell you ain't.
Yeah.
That's good. You need that.
You
That's
know,
good.
or I think
Every
I want
good
to
leader
write
needs that.
I think I want to write a book. Instead of saying, well, how you going to do that? What is your book going to be about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a group of people who are going to sow into you, as pourers out here in the community, we do a lot of pouring, we get empty. And we have to realize that in order for us to be filled, we have to go to a vessel that's larger than us, or to a particular body of water that can fill us. A lot of times we cups, so we surround ourselves with other cups. So if I fill a cup and I'm empty, that cup can fill me, but some of it is going to get lost in the whole exchanging of the water, so I don't get completely filled. What we need to realize is cups need to be around pitchers, and pitchers need to be around gallons, and gallons need to be at the well. And so we have to have individuals around us who are able to pour into us to a point where they aren't empty. Because if the cups keep pouring back and forth, somebody is always going to be empty. But if a pint or a gallon pours into a cup, that cup is full, and that gallon got enough to continue on to pour into another cup. And then when I get to a half a gallon, then I know I got to go see the well to fill up. And so you got to keep going. You keep going because you have a group of people who, on the days that you don't see the vision, they can see the vision. So from him head down in this Heal the Hood game for 10 years, seeing it from the inside out, and me coming aboard seeing it from the outside in, gives a different lens and a different perspective. And so Ajamou, this work is great. What you don't see because you got your head to the ground. I'm looking around. I see this, that, and the other. And so you have to continue because you may not see it, but I see it. So having people who got their head on a swivel around you to be able to see the things that you cannot helps your business continue.
And I gotta piggyback on, because when we first started Heal the Hood, I told y'all how broke, busting, and disgusted I was. If it wasn't for people like Goddess Blossom, Sister Martina, my mama, my dad, a couple other key people who they fronted the bill for everything for Heal the Hood. I didn't even have a car, so when we had appointments and interviews with 1290, 860 and all this, like, they had to get me there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so Heal the Hood is nothing without the team. Like I said, this year I wasn't even gonna do it. I was so burnt out. Man, I was so burnt out last year. I had lost some couple people to gun violence, and it just wasn't making sense to me no more. And so I did call the team like, hey, I ain't trying to do this shit no more unless y'all want to do it and I help y'all. So now the master has become the student. Right now I'm following their vision. It ain't, sis, can you do this? Can you do this? It's like, what do you want to do with Heal the Hood, and how can I support you and help you in that? And that's how we building it. That's how we building it.
That's beautiful. For our listeners like yourself that take on a lot, what advice would you give when it comes to the anxiety it comes with having to deal with so much, or so many responsibilities, deadlines? Like, how do you deal with balancing all that you do?
Beloved, I can't do nothing but be honest. I ain't got nothing for him, because right now I'm in the season. I'm burning the candle on both ends, beloved. I'm trying to make $1 million before this podcast ends. You hear what I'm saying? Oh God, I'm doing so much.
But is there anything like on a mental level that keeps you grounded?
I'm telling you, brother, I read, and so that's what I am doing. I'm reading significantly more, and I'm studying Spanish, because as I'm working these 10 different jobs and we getting ready for Heal the Hood, I realized my mental capacity was slipping, in the sense of I'm forgetting stuff, I'm misscheduling stuff, I'm having a conversation with her 10 minutes later. I'm like, damn, what did Jamila just say to me? And I could have wrote it down on my hand and be looking at my hand like, damn, what did she just tell me? So I said, okay, sharpen your mental capacity. If you're gonna put this pressure on your body, you got to stay witty. You got to stay sharp. So I'm doing that. But then I realized, like, damn, now I'm putting too much pressure on my brain, because I'm working. I'm reading. I'm studying the Spanish. So again, I got to be honest with you and everybody out. I'm trying to find that balance. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find Jam is into yoga. She's a yoga instructor, so she can give way more insight, and she got a home full of men. You understand what I'm saying? So she probably know way more about balance than I.
Yeah, I mean, any advice for the listeners out there juggling a lot?
So you have to, I know self-care is faux pas and taboo because it's popular right now, but if you do not take care of yourself, how can you take care of anyone else? And so you have to, what was revealed to me is you can't make time. Like, you can't create time. You can't. you can't make time for anything, but you can take time for everything. And so taking time for yourself is built in my schedule. Certain things are built into my financial budget. And so because I know that I'm no good as a mother or as a yoga teacher or as a Heal the Hood consultier or whatever we're going to call me, I'm no good if I don't show up as my best self. And so what I do when I'm scheduling the podcast, when I'm scheduling the yoga sessions that I teach, when I'm scheduling the track meets and the football games and the basketball practices, I schedule the big rocks. So that's from like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Things that are very important to you. Like you put that on the schedule. So there are certain things that go on my schedule before anything else. Every 3 months, I take 48 hours uninterrupted away from everything. That 48 hours might be at the Motel 6 down the street.
Okay.
But 48 hours. Like my phone goes on Do Not Disturb, and I dedicate that time to whatever I feel like I want to do or not do in that moment. And I do that every 3 months. And even if it's 30 minutes of riding in the car without the music on and not answering your phone. Putting your phone on Do Not Disturb for 15 minutes and just sitting, reading a book, listening to a podcast that brings you some joy, watching some aimless TV every once in a while, doing those things to replenish and so that you can get back on your grind. I'm trying to work on Brother Ajamou. We gonna get there.
And you know what I was gonna say too, I'll be remiss in my duty because this 10 years ain't always been up. I done been up 40,000, I done been down 40,000. You understand? Overnight too on top of that. And so I just want to say to anybody who may catch this ministry, this business, because I'm going to drop it in your spirit real quick. It's okay to go hard, know your boundaries and know your limitations, and know when to hold and when to fold. What I mean by that is I was doing this entrepreneurial kick like a motherfucker last year. I'm trying to do everything I can to make $1 out of 15 cents. I couldn't do it. I said, okay, I'll just go back to the basics. Yeah. I ain't running from no 9 to 5 because at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, a minister, a preacher, a teacher, a healer, I got a son to feed. And at all costs, I'm going to make sure that get done at the end of the day. So I done picked up, a couple of 9 to 5 to get myself together. So it's on its way. I'm doing my massages. I'm about to get back into martial arts and things like that. That's where my healing comes from. But I'm telling you, it's somebody who gonna catch this thing and they like, man, I'm scared to get back. My business ain't eating. I'm throwing money at it. I'm losing money. I'm behind on a couple of bills. That's okay. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of that brand. Take care of your business before you take care of the brand. Not your business, your business. And so that's just the kick I'm on right now. And I hate it. I ain't gonna lie. I hate working these 30 jobs. And I be exhausted all the time. But I promise you, it's a method to the madness, and my end goal gonna be so sweet.
Well,
I promise.
Don't overwork yourself, brother, because there is such a thing. And I remember one thing that reminds me a lot is one of my Facebook friends. She always bragged about how many jobs she had. Always bragged about how many hours she was working. Back to back double shifts. Everybody applauding her. You get it, girl. Get your money. One morning she stopped posting, and she literally died after her shift from over exertion.
Complete exhaustion. I believe it.
Young.
I believe it.
African American.
I believe it.
Died.
I need to hear that.
From working too hard. She had no health risks. She had no family issues. She wasn't getting no sleep. She wasn't taking care of her body. Young, in her 20s, died. You know what I mean? And I work like you. Plenty jobs. Yeah. Back to back. Yeah. If it's passion, something I'm passionate about, I'm going to do it. But I always keep that in my mind as something like, breaks are needed. Yeah. Vacations are needed. Hell yeah. Rest is needed.
Hell yeah.
Meditation. It's taking a step back away from things. You know what I'm saying? Because we raised to think, team no sleep.
Shit, not me.
Grind hard.
I'm a nap king. You hear me?
Oh,
God.
Young black men.
Yeah.
Is like,
yeah.
Ain't no time to sleep.
And that ain't impressive to me. I mean, again, I'm taking exactly what you're saying to heart for real, because I'm burning myself out to a degree, and it's a means to an end. But with this vision I got, man, with this plan I got, I just need a couple more months of this serious grind, take money to make money, then invest it, play with it. And one thing I thought about too, and this will be my last tidbit, I know we coming to our end. You asked about that inspiration piece. Man, I done seen the sunset on Lake Michigan. I done seen the sunset from Jamaica. I done seen the sunset from Panama. I done talked about this Heal the Hood thing in Jamaica. I done preached this Heal the Hood thing over in Panama overseas and shit. When I think about that, I don't care how down I am. I be like, Butler, you doing shit that other black men who come from the same exact block as you, the same exact zip code and circumstances as you, they'll never even dream of. Niggas in my block don't even know where Panama at. You know what I'm saying? Let alone be able to go over there by yourself and be able to exist, live, and thrive, if you will. So when God shows me the finer things and then brings me back down to earth, it's God's way of saying, you stay on this path and I'll give you the key to the kingdom. I'll give you riches you ain't never thought of, but I need you to handle your business right now in the flesh, give your best, and then let me handle the rest. Ooh, that's mathematic formula right there. Oh, God. Shit.
You better write that down.
That's a mathematical formula. That's better than. See, I don't use A to plus B squared plus C squared. I never use it. But
that right there.
Fuck the pi equation.
Oh God, yeah, I could use that.
Yo, we only got a few more minutes, so I do want y'all to remind our viewers about the important things y'all have coming up, details on the block party, and anything else y'all want to plug.
We here to plug Heal the Hood, Heal the Hearts, Heal the Homes, Heal the Hoods, our 10th annual Heal the Hood block party and resource fair coming to you live on 1st and through 3rd and right on Saturday, May 28th, starting at noon to 5. Now, you can follow Ajamou Butler on Facebook. You can Heal the Hood, got a whole Facebook event. I am Jamila Carney. Follow me. If you are interested in volunteering, we got all kind of shifts. You can volunteer for an hour, 2 hours, or the whole doggone day. We have a Google Doc that you can find in that event. Fill out that information and somebody will be in touch with you. If you want to sow a seed in this fertile ground, Brother Ajamou, give them the Cash App, the PayPal, all that good stuff.
For the Cash App.
Cash App and the PayPal.
Damn shame I don't know the Cash App. I think it's HTHMKE. See, I don't be doing the financial.
See, you don't do the financial.
See, that's why I got to head a team.
But
my brain ain't there.
We'll post it in the comments.
Give us 30 seconds, Jam. Ain't finna play. She gonna pull that thing up. But if you want to sow, you can go to healthehoodmke.org. We got the link there. You can go to Cash App, which is finna come in 2.5 seconds. But y'all just pull up. Yeah. I'm just going to say pull up. I would say
also to those that are watching, please support if you can, because I know a lot of y'all want to do good and you want to help out, but you may not have the time or resources. But if you put your resources into these people right here, I can give you my word that it's going to go in the right place and that it's going to reach the ground. It's going to reach the community. It's not like donating to, some of these big Red Cross or something where they only get 10%. This is going straight to the community. The block they talking about First and Right. I mean, so many lives have been lost in that community. So much hope and good people have come out of that community, but it needs our love. The whole city of Milwaukee, but specifically that hood needs our love. So please.
That cash tag is $HTH for Heal the Hood, MKE for Milwaukee. $HTH MKE.
Yep, and I'll put it on the caption too, so you guys can hit it up at a later date.
And if you ain't got no money, you ain't got no sweat equity, listen,
that's all right.
we cool with that. If the next time that you get into your secret place and you have a conversation with your creator, tell you holla Heal the Hood out, because the creator already knows, because it ain't our business, it's God's business. We just executing the vision.
I love it. And on that note, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank y'all again for coming out to the Entrepreneur
Thank you for
Life
having
Podcast.
us.
Thank you.
It's been a good, insightful journey.
Thank you, sir.
What I would like to do is do this again in a year, see where y'all at, see what you think, how that journey has been. I'm sure we get a chance to chop it up before then, but in a year we'll do it officially, come back to the table and just talk about that journey and where y'all at now.
That's 100.
All right.
That's 100.
All right.
Peace and love.
Word.
Thank y'all for listening to
Family,
Entrepreneur for Life Podcast.
We out.